If you're planning to apply for an H-1B visa in 2026, stop what you're doing. Overnight, the cost of entering the H-1B lottery jumped from $10 to over $200, and the rules were rewritten in a way most applicants still don't understand. If you rely on last year's advice, you could lose your only shot. For thousands of skilled professionals around the world, this is not a hypothetical scenario. It is the reality of the fiscal year 2026 H-1B lottery. I am going to break down exactly how the new beneficiary-centric selection process works. I will explain why the registration fee increase matters more than you think, and I will tell you the truth about whether your odds of selection have actually improved. My name is Sarah. I have spent over 15 years guiding families and professionals through the maze of American immigration law. I am not here to scare you. I am here to arm you with the facts so you do not get left behind. Let's get straight to the heart of the matter. Why does this year feel different for so many regular people? Because for decades, the H-1B visa was the golden ticket. It is the primary way for U.S. companies to hire foreign talent in specialty occupations like tech and engineering and medicine. But for the last few years, the system was broken. It was being gamed by bad actors. People were submitting 10 or 15 registrations for the same person just to flood the lottery. Regular, honest applicants didn't stand a chance. The government finally said, enough is enough. They introduced new rules that started recently and are now fully locked in for 2026. These rules are designed to stop the fraud, but they also come with new costs and strict deadlines that could trip you up if you were not careful. To really understand what this looks like on the ground, let me tell you a story. I want you to picture a young software engineer named Maria. Maria is incredibly talented. She graduated top of her class from a university in Texas. She's been working on her OPT student work permit for the last year, but that permit is expiring soon. She knows that if she doesn't get an H-1B visa, she has to pack her bags and leave the country she calls home. It is a cold Tuesday morning in February. Maria is sitting at her kitchen table, staring at her laptop screen. She has a coffee in one hand and her phone in the other. She's stressed. In previous years, Maria heard stories from her friends about how they paid consulting companies to file multiple lottery entries for them. They told her it was the only way to win. One of her friends, named Raj, submitted 5 registrations through 5 different shady agencies last year. Raj got selected. Maria only had one legitimate job offer, so she only had one registration. She didn't get selected. She felt like the system punished her for being honest. Now, fast forward to right now for the 2026 lottery season. Maria has 2 legitimate job offers this time. Company A is a massive tech giant in California. Company B is a promising startup in Austin. Both companies want to sponsor her. Maria is excited, but she's also confused. She thinks that because she has 2 job offers, she has 2 chances to win the lottery. She calls up her HR manager at the startup. She asks if submitting both registrations will double her odds. The HR manager has to break the news to her. He tells her that under the new beneficiary-centric selection rule, it does not matter how many offers she has. Maria is a single, unique person. She has 1 passport. She gets 1 entry in the lottery. Maria feels a wave of panic. She thinks this means her chances have gone down. She starts pacing around her small apartment. She wonders if she should have tried to find those shady consultants Raj used. But then, the HR manager explains the flip side. He tells her that because of this new rule, Raj's strategy from last year won't work anymore. Those fraud shops can submit 50 registrations for one person, but that person still only counts as 1 lottery ticket. Maria stops pacing. She realizes something profound. For the first time in years, she's actually competing on a level playing field. She isn't competing against the thousands of fake duplicate entries. She's just competing against other unique individuals. She sits back down to her computer and breathes a sigh of relief. She realizes that while she only has 1 ticket, the total pot of tickets is much smaller than before. Her odds might actually be better. Now, let's step out of Maria's kitchen and look at the law that governs her situation. This is the Beneficiary-Centric selection rule. Here is how it works legally. USCIS, the government agency, now selects registrations based on the beneficiary's unique passport or travel document number. In the past, they selected based on the registration form itself. So if you had 10 forms, you had 10 chances. Now they look at the person, not the paperwork. This is a critical distinction. Each beneficiary must be registered under a valid passport or travel document, and you can only use one document. If you try to register with a passport from country A and then register again with a passport from country B to game the system, you will be disqualified. USCIS has made it very clear that they will deny or revoke petitions if they find you tried to use different documents for the same person. Also, for the fiscal year 2026 lottery, there is a massive change in the cost of admission. The registration fee used to be $10. It was cheap enough that people threw registrations in for fun. Now, for the 2026 season, the fee is $215. That's a significant increase. While $215 might not break the bank for a large corporation, it acts as a deterrent for the fraud farms that used to submit thousands of fake entries. It adds up quickly for them. So what dates do you need to know? The registration period for the fiscal year 2026 cap opens at noon Eastern Time on March 7th, 2025. It closes at noon Eastern Time on March 24th. That's a strict window. If your employer misses that noon deadline on March 24th, you are out of luck until next year. There is no grace period for being late. Now, I want to address the common mistakes I see people making right now. The biggest misconception is about the wage level selection. You might have read online that the government is going to start prioritizing people with higher salaries. There was a lot of talk about a weighted lottery where high earners get picked first. Here's the truth. That rule is finalized, but it is scheduled to take effect for the fiscal year 2027 lottery. That means for this upcoming lottery in March 2025, we're still using the random selection method. Do not let your employer tell you that you need a raise just to qualify for the lottery this year. That is not the law yet. Another huge mistake is ignoring the passport requirement. Your passport must be valid at the time of registration. If your passport has expired and you're waiting for a renewal, you need to act fast. Unlike previous years where you could sometimes fix details later, the passport number is your unique lottery ID. If that number is wrong or the document is invalid, your entry could be void. Let's talk about the organizational accounts. This is a technical change, but it trips up a lot of employers. Last year, USCIS introduced new online accounts for companies. Your employer can't just use their old personal account or a lawyer's account in the same way they did 5 years ago. They must have a proper organizational account set up. If your boss is a small business owner who does this themselves, tell them to log in now. Do not wait until March 7th to try and figure out the login portal. Now, let's go back to Maria for a second. She is relieved about the fairness, but she's still worried about the numbers. She asks me, "What are my actual chances, Mike?" While I cannot give a guaranteed number because it depends on total demand, here's the math. Last year, we saw a massive drop in the total number of registrations because the fraud was cut out. The number of unique beneficiaries selected was roughly the same, but the total fluff registrations disappeared. This means that mathematically, the selection rate for a legitimate applicant like Maria went up significantly compared to the fraud years. In the past, legitimate odds were sometimes as low as 10 or 15%. With the new system, we're seeing legitimate selection rates hovering much higher, potentially around 25 or 30%. It's still a lottery, it's still luck, but the odds are no longer rigged against you. Now, I want to mention the master's cap exception. If you have a master's degree or higher from a U.S. institution, you still get a second bite at the apple. First, you're entered into the general lottery of 65,000 visas. If you are not selected there, you're placed into the advanced degree pool for another 20,000. This has not changed, so if Maria has her master's degree, she's in a much stronger position than someone with just a bachelor's. Now, I want to give you the practical takeaways. I want you to write these down or save this video because these are the steps that will save you from a rejection. Takeaway number 1. The registration period is March 7th to March 24th, 2025. Do not plan to register on March 24th. The system often slows down or crashes on the last day. Get it done in the first week. Takeaway number 2. Check your passport expiration date today. Ensure the passport number your employer uses matches the document exactly. One typo in the passport number can be a disaster because that number is your unique lottery ID. Takeaway number 3. Confirm that your employer understands the fee increase. It is now $215 per registration. Make sure their payment method is ready and has a high enough limit if they are registering multiple people. Takeaway number 4. If you have multiple job offers, accept them all if you want. Having multiple companies register you is perfectly legal. It won't increase your odds of selection because you are still one person, but it gives you a backup plan. If you get selected, you can choose which company to file your petition. Or if one company suddenly has a budget cut and pulls the offer, you have the other one ready. Just remember, you only get counted once in the lottery draw. Takeaway number 5. Watch out for the consultancy trap. If a company asks you to pay the registration fee yourself, run away. By law, the employer should be paying these costs. And if they promise you a 100% guarantee, they are lying to you. No one can guarantee a lottery win. Finally, let's talk about what happens after. USCIS intends to notify selected registrants by March 31st, 2025. You will not get an email personally. Your employer or attorney will get a notification in their portal. If you are selected, the filing period begins on April 1st. That is when the real legal work begins, to prove you are qualified for the job. This H-1B process is stressful. I know, it keeps you up at night. But knowledge is power. The new rules for 2026 are actually good news for honest people. The fraudsters are being priced out and locked out. The system is trying to return to what it was meant to be, a way for talent to come to America and build a future. Do not let the anxiety paralyze you. Talk to your employer today. Make sure they are ready for March 7th. And if you found this breakdown helpful, you know what to do. I am committed to helping you navigate the complex world of U.S. law with simple, honest advice. If you want to stay updated on immigration changes as they happen, hit that subscribe button right now. It costs you nothing, but it could save you everything. I'm Sarah, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay informed and stay legal.